on the surface, we're looking at other people showing up for us. We're looking at, wanting to fix someone so that they can come back for us. But we've talked about how this is all a reflection of what happened in our childhood. It's all a reflection of that time when our dad didn't show up for us. Yeah. So where do you think we really still need to be shown up for? Is it really in the fucking present, or is it all the way back there where we needed that consistent, regular, stable love? Where do you think you really need to show up for yourself? In the present moment, or in that version of you that's still waiting for love from her daddy in her childhood?
I need to go back and I need to heal my inner child. And
so let's take it simply, step by step. It doesn't even have to be so complicated. But I can tell, you know what's funny?
What?
So I teach, I'm a psychoanalyst, so I teach about something called the ego, but the ego is not what we think it is, which is just like, oh, I'm cocky and this and that. The ego is this protective version of us that's been built. So a people pleaser, that's part of our ego. Deflection, part of our ego. Judgment, shame, criticism, part of our ego. All of those. Focusing on the present, on the attachment, so focusing on the outside rather than on the inside, also our ego. Why do you think you're avoiding that difficult answer of going back to that difficult time in your childhood?
I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
Is it because it's probably, one, for starters, it's probably kind of like unknown and vague because we've never really thought about it before today. So it's a space that perhaps no one's really shown us or given us the space or time to think about. So one, could be vague, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two, could it be, exactly, someone said, it's so painful to go back and visit it because this was a space and time in our life where we were so young. All we wanted was for someone to show up for us. All we wanted was for someone to really be there, and not just wanted. These were the people who we were put in their care. Mm-hmm. They were responsible. We were dependent. We had no choice. Mm-hmm. And so the first idea of ourselves is that we can't be loved, taken care of, or shown up for. Don't you think anytime we have to go back to do it for ourselves, we'd be like, yeah, no, thanks. I'd much rather show up for somebody else than me.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. I think that I'm avoiding, like, I'm avoiding feeling those big emotions that come up because I don't want to mess up. Like, I don't want to make mistakes. Like, I'm a perfectionist. I'm a people pleaser. I don't want that.
You want to find something really conflicting in your own choice statements. You don't want to mess up and make mistakes. Have you evaluated your current situation in the relationship you're in? There is no such thing as a mistake. Everything is a journey. Everything is a learning process. If you criticize and shame yourself and say, I don't want to make mistakes, you'll actually turn a blind eye to some of the mistakes you're currently making because those are just acceptable mistakes for you. It's not about the mistakes. It's not about the taking that chance and doing the wrong decision. It's because that is extremely difficult. It's extremely uncomfortable. Something I discovered when I got into inner work, which is one of my favorite things ever, is that wherever the biggest problem lies, in any problem, inside of the problem is the answer. And if we don't, the thing is, most of us don't want to address that problem. So we don't want to address our core wounds of abandonment, rejection, etc. So we'll never really find the answer. Instead, we're just going to address it by attaching to someone else. Yeah. But then that someone else has their own wounds, that someone else has their own mechanism, and that someone else ultimately rejects or abandons us. So then there goes our sense of self-worth with them as well. So if you have to go back to revisit your childhood, your space and time, where if this was the first identity you had of yourself and how much you were worth, right? And if the first identity was that I'm not worthy of someone showing up for me, how do we change this? We have to do the opposite, no? We have to show up for that little girl or that little boy in that period of time, don't we?
Yeah.
Exactly. And that is actually how we start to shift our attachment styles.
Hey, and welcome to the Inner Yats YouTube page. If you like our content, make sure you click the like and the subscribe button so that you get more of these amazing videos that keep coming your way.